Bill Gates is the largest private farmland owner in America, but he's not the only one. Jeff Bezos, Ted Turner. Even foreign governments are in on the action. What do they know that we don't? And what does it mean for the rest of us? In the past decade, billionaires have been quietly buying up massive amounts of land across the United States. Bill Gates now owns over 275,000 acres of farmland, spread across 19 states. Ted Turner, over 2 million acres, mostly ranch land. Jeff Bezos has scooped up real estate in Texas and the Pacific Northwest. Mark Zuckerberg owns large parcels in Hawaii. It's not just American billionaires either. Entities connected to China and Saudi Arabia have also been buying U.S. farmland. So why farmland? Farmland is one of the most stable assets in human history. It produces food, something we'll always need. And in times of inflation or uncertainty, farmland tends to hold its value. But this isn't just about crops. This is about control. Owning land gives you access to water rights, natural resources, and tax breaks. It's also a hedge against climate change. As fertile land becomes more scarce, those who already own it are sitting on a gold mine. Some investors call it the next big thing, but others are starting to ask a different question. What if this isn't just a smart investment? What if it's a strategic one? Let's talk about that. Because when billionaires start buying land like this, people wonder, is there a bigger plan? It's possible we're looking at something called vertical integration, owning the land, controlling the seeds, controlling the distribution. If you control how food is grown and where it goes, you control the market and potentially the people. Now, let's be clear, there's no proof of some grand conspiracy, but the facts are enough to raise eyebrows. In a world facing rising population, droughts, and food insecurity, controlling land means controlling leverage. Governments are starting to notice. Several U.S. states have introduced legislation to limit foreign land ownership, especially by countries considered national security risks. Texas, for example, passed a bill aimed at restricting purchases by China, Iran, and others. There have been congressional hearings, and the Department of Agriculture is tracking foreign land acquisitions more closely. But critics say the system is still full of loopholes. Land can be purchased through shell companies. Ownership can be hidden. The question is, are we acting fast enough to address this before it becomes irreversible? Now let's bring it back to you. What does this mean for regular people? It means farmland, once passed down through generations, is now being bought by corporations and billionaires. That drives prices up, pushes small farmers out, and makes it harder for young families or local businesses to buy land at all. And the more centralized our food system becomes, the more fragile it becomes. If a handful of people control the majority of farmland, what happens when there's a disruption? But here's the good news. There are ways to push back. Support local farms. Get involved in community agriculture. Push for land deal transparency at the local level. Food sovereignty starts at home. This isn't just a real estate trend. It's a shift in power. Who grows your food? Who owns your water? Who controls the land under your feet? If you don't own it, someone else will. Stay alert. Stay informed. And as always, this has been News with Finch.